Hello there. Welcome back to Vintage Story. Yeah, rainy night. Seems fitting. I've been doing a bit of work in the house, moved all of our tools over. I have finally set up our display cases, as you saw. The ethos slab does not fit in a display case, which is a shame. So ethos slab will just have to be on a table. I will be building, like I said, a nice big dining table here. We'll put a hearth over here. I do not think I'll do anything on the exterior for the hearth. I think it's just going to be sort of a facade, although it will have a fireplace in it for, well, warming this room that technically doesn't count as a room, because since I changed the stairs here, this is no longer separated into two different rooms. So this is one giant room with that one down there and that one up there, which means it's too big to count as a room. But I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. Our kitchen counts as a room and our cellar counts as a room, so we have plenty of insulation where necessary. Now, I'm still on 1.20 at this moment. However, as you probably saw in the title, I plan to have an update to 1.21 by the end of today. Unfortunately, the culinary artillery mod and the expanded food mods are not being updated right away. I believe I saw on the Discord that they're going through a rework or rewriting. They may not be updated for a while, which means updating to 1.21 means we will not have culinary artillery or expanded food. So I had to eat down all of our expanded food items that I had sitting around, but that also means I have to get rid of all of our milk, or at least all of our milk from the bottles and from the bottle rack, since they will no longer exist once we update. So going to add all the milk here, or at least enough of it that we can make ourselves some cheese. So to make cheese, we need to fill a barrel with either 25 or 50 liters of milk. We have 40 liters, so we can only do one batch of 25. Once that's done, we add one pickled vegetable of any kind. I just pickled 6 turnips. So that's good. We'll let the milk curdle. Once it's curdled, we add salt. I've brought salt down. This will turn it into cottage cheese, and then once it's cottage cheese, we can turn it into cheddar cheese. We could, of course, eat the cottage cheese as is, if we so desire. Unfortunately, a lot of the ways you would eat the cottage cheese are culinary artillery. Sorry, expanded foods. So, yeah, we're not going to be able to do that. So, we have, if I can figure out where I put it, there we go. Looked in every single one wrong. We have 25 liters of milk. We take our one pickled turnip, we seal it, and in 3 days, this will become curdled milk. And then we got a couple other barrels here, so we're going to just take the rest of these off, pour them in, and then get rid of these bottles and these racks, since we will not be able to use them in the future. At least not till the update. Are you kidding? We're 2 liters short? Oh, that's unfortunate. Being 2 liters short of being able to make 2 batches of the cottage cheese. I thought we had less milk than that. Oh well. Also, we will not have any more of our candied pears. These are also expanded food, as are the dehydrated pears. So, just gonna have to munch on these to get rid of them. Also, the grapes are going away. However, we can still use... Oh, well, the raisins are going away. However, we still have tons of grapes, and I am going to make some wine, or at least get started with wine. So we have our fruit press here. We've got a bucket down there, so we can add all of the grapes in, turn it into grape mash, compress, and now we have, well, a bunch of dried grapes. Those are also expanded food. And some grape juice. Add that in there. I believe, yeah, if we just seal it, it'll turn into white wine in 7 days. Now, we do have a bunch of grapes still, so I'm going to fill up that barrel as much as possible and do likewise with the red grapes. So we'll be back in a little bit. All right, so we've got 50 liters, both green and red grape juice. So we just seal the barrels, and after 7 days, we get wine. Not quite water into wine, but close enough. So that's going to sit there. I don't know what I'm going to do with the wine afterwards, since I don't like the distortion effect it causes on your character in game. But who knows? Now, as you notice, it's a little different out here. I replaced all of the grass inside here with the arid packed dirt. Arid packed dirt is dirt and then 2 bits of sand. So 4 dirt, 2 sand. Similar crafting recipe to the packed dirt, which is 6 dirt. And yeah, it just has a tanner color than the packed dirt does. And so I did that in here. Kind of matches. I replanted over here with just a whole field of lilies. Lilies of the valley. So we've got our beehive here. I did harvest all the frames from it because it's, I think, oh no, it's got 3 right now. It had filled up all the frames. And then I changed this up a little bit. We've got almost an equal number of grapes, red and green. I have trimmed them down using the shears. You can prune. So grab these quickly. I can't do them on those since they've already been done. But if we go over here to a berry bush, you see it says that with shears in your hand, you can click on it to prune it. And it just gets rid of the extra leafy bit. So it looks a little cleaner. So I've done that to all the grapes. I've got them stacked up. And I think what I'm going to do is make another Langstroth hive and stick it in the middle somewhere, because the bees in the Langstroth hive do pollinate berry bushes and whatnot, and I believe it makes them produce fruit faster. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that's how it works. Made up a bunch of stone pathing and some clay bricks to surround it, so we're kind of actually getting some work done on the base here. Oh, and all the fruit trees I planted to make up for the 6 I planted and only got 2, yeah, they all grew up. So that evens out my odds quite a bit. Okay, so you would have seen in the opening bit, we were making refractory bricks because I want to get a cementation furnace started, and so we have a whole bunch of refractory bricks in here. So to make a cementation furnace, we need a iron door. I have to go process all the iron into a door, but then we can also make refractory bricks, which takes 8 bricks plus 1 mortar. Mortar is of course made with slack lime plus sand, and you get 2 bricks for 8 brick. I never liked how that wording works in Vintage Story or Minecraft, because these are a ton of bricks. But you don't call them bricks, you call them brick, even though you have multiple of them. Because bricks are when you combine them together. Yeah, it doesn't sound right. Anyway, so we have all these refractory bricks. We're going to make the refractory brick housing, brick blocks, and we got to make some refractory brick grates. And then we get started on the cementation furnace. What was the block that actually started the cementation furnace? I think it's the stone coffin. Yes, so we lay out the refractory brick gratings, and then we put down the stone coffin, which we're going to need granite, andesite, peridot, or basalt, was it? Yep, basalt. And then we can get started on the cementation furnace so that we can get started on steel. And I've cleaned up a little bit in back here, because what we're going to do is we're going to punch a hole through the wall here, and then the cementation furnace is going to go here with the iron door right here, so we can walk out of here and directly into the cementation furnace. And it's going to be connected to the building, so we don't actually have to leave the base in order to get to our steel. I will also build a little access way underneath here so we can provide fuel for it. And you know, since this is all packed dirt, I might also do a little bit of a tunnel under here and have our charcoal pit under the ground here, where you can't really see it from above, but you access it from the inside. So I think that's what I'm going to work on. And yeah, let me go get the stone we need to make the coffin. Before I do that, though, I did make a trough, which I can't place for whatever reason. There we go. Now, our elk does not actually need the trough. It's just sort of aesthetics. And by the way, these new fences that I made up work much better. Our elk has not managed to get out and over the fence on his own. So he's actually secured in there. He cannot go wandering around. Was there something else I wanted to show? Oh yes, upstairs. So I still need to continue working on our storage closet. You're not welcome in here. In here, where we're just going to be putting all of our books and scrolls and whatnot. Okay, well, he's gone. It's weird. When you kill a bowthorn and they are near a wall, they will actually travel up the wall. So he's on the roof now. But here, I set up the mock table out here along with some chairs. So you can sit out here and play a game. I'm going to put a lantern up here. I got to make up more lanterns. So I'm going to be working on that also. But yeah, so finally getting work done in this house to pull it together to actually look nice and finished. So because I am doing an SMP along with a single player world, I have 2 instances of Vintage Story on my computer. And I just updated to 1.21 on both of them. Yeah, I got a few errors here as I'm loading up. I don't think it's going to cause an issue, but there is something I have to show you what you have to do when loading into 1.21 for the first time from a previous world. Automatic story location generation failed. Missing star location treasure hunter. That's not a problem. There's a treasure hunter nearby. Okay, I think I can just ignore that. Here's the actual message. Upgrade required. This save game was created in an older version of the game. To restore some of the blocks, a remap and world reload is required. This process may take a minute or 2. We are going to ignore this for now because I want to show you how to do it otherwise. You see here, this storage vessel has a broken texture. This is the default looking storage vessel, the one you'll make on your own out of clay, as opposed to the decorative ones which you might buy from a trader or find in a ruin. That barrel had something from... That was honey. What was that? Clearly it was something from culinary artillery that I no longer have. Or expanded food. Oil lamp broke? Oh, it's probably because it's a bowl. If we go outside, oil lamps are broken again. The skep is broken. I was expecting the roof to be broken, but it's not, which is nice. So what we want to do is backslash, and I gotta look up the code quickly. The code you want to type in is fix mapping, one word, space, apply all, one word. Why does that look like I spelled it wrong? Because I did. I spelled it with 2 L's instead of 2 P's. And then you hit enter, and no applicable remap found. All seems good. That's obviously not correct. But when we restart the world, everything should be fixed. So we're going to leave the world. And then I'll hop back in a moment and see if it is indeed fixed. That absolutely should have worked. Okay, well, it doesn't seem to want to cooperate. There is one other fix to this, and that is to downgrade back to 1.20, load in, and then load out, and then update back to 1.21. And that'll give you the pop-up again, which you can then use and should fix the textures. Don't know why the command's not working though. I've restarted the game twice, and yeah, I honestly don't know why it's not working. It definitely should be. Okay, let's see if this fixed it. I realized what my mistake was. See, I hit the ignore button instead of later, and so by hitting ignore, it ignored all remaps, so it wouldn't remap because I told to ignore it. So I've downgraded to 1.20.12, and then I went back to 1.21.1. I did make a backup of the world before doing all of that. So we're actually loading into the backup because I had to disable all my mods and then re-enable them. So if this works, we can either just continue from here or not. Okay, it didn't give me the pop-up. But my modded... nope, my Angstrom Hive is missing. Okay, we're going to try this again. I may have done a few tests and backups. I did backport the game to 1.20, reinstalled all the old versions of the mods, reloaded my world, and then I just updated the game back to 1.21, loaded up all the new versions of the mods, and we'll see if this works. Now, this will still tell me that the remapping is wrong, but it should hopefully let me remap again. And if it doesn't, I've already gone through and removed all the items from the vessels. So worst comes to worst, I'll just remove them and go into creative, remove them and put new ones in their place. Okay. I did not get the pop-up again. That's a problem. Yep, okay. So all of our crocs are broken, our bowls are broken, and backporting and then bringing back up did not fix it. It's a little bit of a nuisance. Now, you are supposed to be able to do this. Fix mapping, do remap, and then input a code. But it doesn't tell me what sort of code it is. It just says it's a string. Well, if I do, look at the vessel, right? If I try that and then I do exactly what it says there. Game, block, dash, storage, vessel, dash, burned, enter. It does nothing. If I try any combination of that, even just storage vessel, it does nothing. So what I'm going to do, since you're right here for me, we're going to go into creative mode. We're going to grab a vessel. We're going to just grab this dark brown ceramic one, since that is essentially what that was. And we are going to replace those two. We're going to grab some crocs, just the basic brown ones. I had 12 of them, right? So I'm going to... yeah, do this one by one. Grab it, delete it, replace it. You know, probably... I'll come back to that. Let's see. We want to replace these oil lamps, so... 8 of them, I think. So let's get that one. That one. That one. That one. Oops, did not mean to break my door there. We'll fix that later. Anvil mold. We don't need that anymore. Ingot molds. Tool molds. We'll replace all those. The ingot molds we'll replace. So let's not worry about these too much. We're just going to delete them. And the anvil mold doesn't matter because the anvil mold is supposed to be one use now anyway. So when you use it the first time, it breaks. There's nothing in here that needs to be fixed. No, nothing on here. Nope. Okay. There's nothing downstairs. Should be nothing on the boat. So then I'm just going to... oh, the hive... that one is fine. That skep. Populated skep. Can I replace a populated skep? Ah, there's a papyrus one and a reed one now. Alright. Right, I can't really do the inventory too much. We'll just get rid of that. We'll go make ourselves a new one. And get that to work later. And cook pot. Just grab one of those. Place the... there we go. Bowl with meal. Right, we'll need to get rid of a couple bowls. I'll just give myself one. I'll just go through and get rid of all the bowls and all the crocks and just make up new ones. I think it's more of a hassle to replace them all than just make new ones. But there, I replaced those two with you guys on camera, and that should be everything to worry about. Okay, so let's go back into survival, and we're going to make the iron door, which, as I was saying, is going to go like right, not in that spot, but actually in that spot. Because what we're going to do is we're going to have this area here be where the furnace comes up and out of the ground. Okay, I'm going to I have to craft up everything. Let me just take care of what I still need to take care of, and then we'll be right back. Okay, everything should be fixed now. So what we're going to want to do is we need 2 crafts of these refractory brick gratings. We need 6 in total. And then we're going to need 65 of the refractory bricks. 64. 66. So that should be all the refractory bricks we need, and that should not be my inventory. Give me 1 second. Go and just delete that. Okay. I must have created an extra one by accident and forgot to get rid of it. Okay. So now what we can do is, and of course it's nighttime, so we can't really see all that well, but what we want to do is come out here and we're going to dig up and replace the ground here with the gratings. Then we need to make the coffins halves. We need those two. We need that and a hammer. Yep. Shift click to show the structure. And control click hides it. So I think I've got it backwards right now. But we're going to want to put those there. Those there. Those there. That, yeah, I think I've got this backwards. I think it wants the door to be over there. So I think what I need to do is move the grating over here. Yes, and then those there, that there, and then we can put the door there. And then we just pretty much fill in the blocks where you see the outlines. Red, of course, means that there's a block there that does not belong. What in the world? Why did my vision change? This has got to be something new that I am not aware of. Oh wait, am I getting cold? I am getting cold. It's because it's raining in September. Okay, well, that's gonna hold off on this a bit. But if we control click, we've got the blocks underneath. Right, okay. Well, we're freezing, so let's go warm up and then finish this in a bit. Okay, it's morning. Warmed up a bit. Let's finish this. So we need to come in here. We actually need to go down a level, because what we need to do is dig out that block there needs to be a brick. And we need this whole area underneath cleared out anyway, because it's where we're going to put the fuel sources to I am too used to playing on the server with no gravity blocks. It's actually throwing me off at this point. But yeah, so we need this area open under here, because we need to be able to put fuel under here to light up everything up there. Structure has 2 blocks placed wrong. Okay. And it is very convenient that it tells you that there's something wrong or there's a block in the wrong place, and it will highlight it red or yellow or whatnot to indicate what's wrong. I think. Yep. I was going to say, I think the 2 wrong blocks are these here, and I was correct. So there we go. Now the cementation furnace is fully built. We just need to make the coffin lid. And I have more bricks than I thought I needed. Okay, so for the coffin lid, we do the granite, in this case, our chisel, our hammer, and 1 borax per lid, and we need 2 of those. And so once we fill this with iron, we'll put the coffin lid on, and we will be good to start making steel. I don't know how much steel I'm going to make in this series, but there we go. And we can get to it without ever having to go outside. Now, of course, these are tier 1 refractory bricks. They will break. They have a chance to break every time you I was going to say cook, but bake something in the cementation furnace. So that's why we have extra, because we will have to replace blocks as we go. If I got my hands on more olivine, we could have made tier 2, and then there's also tier 3 bricks. Tier 3 bricks have a very low chance of breaking. Tier 1, they're not that bad. They are 90% heat resistance, which I think comes out to be like a 90% chance that they don't break, or a 10% chance that any one block will break per cycle. There are, say, 45 blocks there, so there's every time you make steel with tier 1, there's a decent chance that 4 or 5 blocks will break and you'll have to replace them. When they break, it's like the bloomery. You will, break the broken block and you will get back some refractory bricks, so you can recycle them. And you can mix and match. You can have tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 3, so you don't have to fully replace them all at once. So that's how we make the cementation furnace, and how we mess up updating the game. Boy, that was fun. It really threw me off for a while there. Okay, I've gone through and gotten rid of all the blocks that I think I messed up when I updated the world and told it to ignore remapping. So, I think it's a good place to end for today. So, thank you for joining me today. Hope you've had a wonderful day. Thank you for my channel members for your support. And I'll see you next time. Later.